Hello, everyone. Today we're gonna be doing a matchup think ahead, where we examine the matchups and we think about them, and then we talk about them.
We're not looking anywhere.
We're not looking because
I cannot look.
Carter has lost his sight temporarily
Indeed.
because his contact lens ripped.
And I am currently
Straight in half.
still in Alabama. Did not bring my glasses,
Yeah.
so I'm in a blurry
Did it
world.
actually tear in half?
Not in half. It's just, there's a big tear in it.
Yeah. So we're coming to you not live, pre-recorded from a couch in Auburn, Alabama.
Yes. We're
But-
equal.
We're gonna look at the. Sorry. We're
We're
gonna
gonna
think
think.
about the matchups and discuss them.
It's really
That's tough.
insensitive.
So we'll just start with the first one here. We have the Coronet Commanders 2-0 versus the Umbreons Reunion Bash. I'm still getting used to that one. I'm starting to get better.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to say
Evie's backyard bash.
Eevee's Backyard Bash, but Umbreon's Reunion.
Evie's backyard bash is over. It ended.
It ended, and it's just a reunion
It's
bash
reunion
now.
bash, yeah.
So, I think we should just take turns and share thoughts. Try to keep it a little structured here. So, does anyone want to start?
Sure, I can start.
All right.
So, off the top of my head, thinking about it, and not looking,
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard for me to look. I think this might be one of James's better matchups, just because he does have the Intimidate, which can kind of slow Tyranitar down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hitmontop also really answers Tyranitar, at least offensively. It is a little bit scary, those rock sides for Moltres here, but a Terra Steel is going to be pretty good for you unless the Cornet Commanders are rocking the Houndoom this time around, but I don't really see that happening. Plus Houndoom is also threatened by Hitmontop. So I think you have some pretty decent matchups. Like the lead, at least the Moltres Hitmontop leads pretty well into the Cornet Commanders, I think.
A lot of it.
The Fiery Wrath, it isn't super effective or anything into Tyranitar Togetic, at least, but at least you do get the spread damage. You can also do Rock Slide with Hitmontop. I mean, it is obviously going to be hard to really do that much damage to the Togetic. But I don't know. I think you also have some decent options for the other Pokemon on the Cornet Commanders. Maybe you have Lantern for Skarmory this time around. Could be what you do. I don't know. It's very hard to beat the Cornet Commanders. But I think if anyone's gonna do it, it could be James's team.
Yeah. I like a lot of what you said. I do think Moltres is. It's kind of mixed because it's good versus. It's you have to Terra, basically.
Yeah.
Versus Tyranitar, you have to Terra. Togetic can threaten a little bit of damage to you. Definitely resists you a lot. At least do the spread moves, but you're not hitting Tyranitar for very much with Fire Wrath, even if Tyranitar doesn't Terra, and conversely, Tyranitar can hit you with Rock Slide, so that's kind of not great. You do also need Moltres to get around Skarmory. You have a similar problem which you had versus Forretress, in that you don't have a fire type to hit Skarmory, so you have to rely on electric moves, which you do have. Feraligatr can run a Thunder Punch or something, and Lantern's obviously electric type. Probably better Lantern because of special attack, but it also doesn't really hit very hard, so that can be kind of tricky. I do kind of like Lantern overall, though. It's actually surprisingly good into a lot of what the Cornet Commanders have. It's not the strongest of Pokemon, but
It's bulky though.
It is. Hitmontop is obviously amazing into Tyranitar. It's one of the best versus Tyranitar. Not so good versus Togetic. Kind of not so good versus Skarmory. But it's okay. I mean, I think Hitmontop still does a lot. Umbreon is interesting. I mean, like it's also like I think it's kind of not that good into Skarmory. Like I feel like there's a little bit of a Skarmory problem, and Suicune is like never going down. So I don't know. And then you also for the Commanders you have Weezing again, and it could. I think it looks really good here. It's obviously Fairy type into the Moltres, Umbreon, and Hitmontop, which are some of the best Pokemon for the Umbreons reunion bash. So it's good there, and then it can also shut down that Intimidate from Hitmontop, which is pretty important. So and even shutting down Sheer Force from Feraligatr, also quite detrimental to that Pokemon. It relies on the Sheer Force to keep its damage high. So I don't know. I mean, Feraligatr is also good into Tyranitar, so there's that. I mean, Feraligatr is not bad overall. Actually, now the more I look at it, like it'll do fine into Suicune and Skarmory, especially if you give it an electric type coverage move. It can learn like Thunder, or whatever the lightning. What is it?
Thunder Fang.
Fang, yeah, Thunder Fang. I think it can learn Thunder Fang, and then you can cover Suicune, Skarmory with that, and even Togetic with that. And then your water moves are good into Tyranitar and Houndoom. I don't really see Meganium coming over Weezing, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And you can hit Weezing for neutral at least. So, yeah, I like Feraligatr. Espeon is a little dicey. I don't think I would put too much stock in it. But yeah, it could be more of a Feraligatr and Lantern kind of game. Even Gligar is like decent. I mean, it has ground type attacks into Tyranitar. It's really bulky. You do have to watch out for Ice Beam from Suicune, though. That'll kill you pretty instantaneously. Yeah. But I like their ground typing versus Weezing, Houndoom, and Tyranitar. And even you get some poison coverage for Togetic, so yeah, could be a thing. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too deep. You could just stick to the Moltres Hitmontop with the Feraligatr Lantern support options. So yeah, Greenlee?
I don't have a lot of knowledge of, the typings and stuff when y'all said a lot of it, but what I will say, is that we have a lot of purple going on. Purple versus purple. This blue guy up here.
Suicune.
Purple monkey. Purple Espeon. Purple that guy over there.
Gligar.
So, gotta consider. Also, these two with the long neck have the same shape.
Furret and Bayleaf.
So, you could say that makes them more even. But yeah, I haven't played against it, it's kind of hard for me to like.
But you played against James at least.
Yeah, I did. And, I mean, I don't know, because mine were a lot, like, better. Like, I could take care of him on top pretty easily. I didn't. Espeon, I don't remember one particular being, like, super problematic.
It's going to be difficult
but
for James, I think.
It's different.
To not be too predictable here.
Yeah. Yeah, like how do you mix it up? I mean...
Bring only purple.
Only purple.
Only purple.
I think Gligar could be an interesting mix-up if you get it in the right spot. You just have to watch out for Suicune.
The thing is, he's definitely... I mean, yeah, it could be a good lead because Luke might go for the Weezing lead again just to get around to Intimidate.
Yeah, and if you I mean, tearing Gligar is kind of rough, but the thing is, like, you can switch into... If you bring Lantern or Feraligatr, like, both of those will... Any move Suicune wants to launch at Gligar, you have a pretty safe swap option to, like, protect your Gligar.
Swaption. So,
like, I could see that. I could see Gligar being a little bit of a mix-up. I could see if you play a little more heavily into Feraligatr. Like, let's say... I mean, Hitmontop has coaching. This might be a time where you can focus on supporting Feraligatr instead of supporting Moltres. Mm-hmm. You can use coaching on Feraligatr. It's really good if you do that because, I mean, let's be honest, like, I don't know. I guess the Coronet Commanders do have a pretty good amount of special attack, but, like, it's not super strong. Like Suicune isn't going to hit scare for Alligator that much. Weezing is like the best bet for hitting for Alligator for special damage. Like Skarmory is physical, Togetech's physical, Houndoom has a really bad matchup into for Alligator, and then Tyranitar's physical. So if you give coaching to for Alligator, that could be really nice. I wouldn't hate to see that.
Yeah.
And for Alligator could pop off here.
Yeah, with some good coverage. I don't know what kind of coverage moves for Alligator gets.
Because there's nothing that there's nothing outside of Meganium that immediately is like, oh no, for Alligator can't beat that.
I don't see Commanders bringing freaking Meganium, like maybe ever.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, this could be the week. Maybe Meganium comes instead of Houndoom, because if you think of, I mean, Houndoom doesn't do anything. So
yeah, maybe they're thinking they need a for Alligator answer, and so maybe they do bring Meganium, but
yeah, but Meganium
doesn't like threaten you that much.
Yeah, and if you just have Ice Punch on for Alligator, then you're also fine. So it's like,
and you can.
Yeah, you probably will. So I don't know. All right, next matchup. We'll switch the order in which we do the commentary this time, just so. But this matchup is the Singing in the Rain, who's 1-1, versus Scrambled Eggs, also 1-1.
Scrambled egg.
Bit of a scrambled egg. My bad. It's just because the logo says eggs scrambled.
It's because like Executor is named Egg, and so it's like around his team since he came from the first one. Not that it's really his team, but like kinda just because he's a repeat.
He definitely
and
thinks
so
it's his team.
like he what?
He thinks it's his team.
It kind of is. So egg, but like scrambled.
Mm-hmm.
Egg, but like, the other parts and stuff, so it's scrambled.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then they're all an egg.
All of them are one egg together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw somebody asked a question about that.
Yeah, we did get a question from Robin about, I think, how to cook Executor's eggs.
But Executor, here's the thing, the rest of them are types of ways being cooked. Executor's is just raw eggs. He's just the egg. That's why his name is Egg. And Shuckle will be Shell. So those are the only two that are not going to have types of ways to be cooked.
It's the way that Rocky cooks his eggs.
But I would not cook. Yeah. I would not cook.
Drinking them raw.
Executor eggs. Because.
At all.
I would not. No.
They're just raw. That's how they are.
Yeah.
Don't cook them. That's against the rules. Okay. Glad we solved that.
Execute, though. That's fair game. One of them's already broken.
That's true.
So go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So, let's talk about the matchup. Greenlee, you can start this time since it is your matchup.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like my team pretty much is gonna do like its best in Trick Room in general. I think I put a lot of stock into that. But I mean, I did do something a little different the first time, my first game, but then it didn't work. So I feel like I'm just gonna have to like feel it out. I'm gonna have to do some practice and see how this does. This is a rain team, right? Singing in the Rain.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't it not in the rain last week?
It was not in the rain. It was both rain teams against each other. No rain.
So I don't know if
they
it will be in the rain.
They didn't want to sit rain for each other.
Or not in the rain. I don't know how that really affects me. But
the rain hurts Entei, but that's about it.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in the rain.
You're otherwise fine. I mean, Executor has chlorophyll, which you can't do in the rain, but you weren't probably gonna do that anyway, so.
Yeah, chlorophyll is not my friend this season.
Harvest is your friend.
Yeah.
Skill swap.
Skill swap.
Taking chlorophyll, just giving it to some Pokemon.
Yeah, whose skill am I gonna take this time?
There are some good ones to take.
Quillfish, Swift Swim.
Yeah, if Quillfish comes out, you could do that. I don't think that'll
Right.
happen.
Pichu, what does Pichu have?
Lightning Rod. That's pretty good. If for some
Yeah.
reason Pichu comes, which I don't know why it would.
It was there last
It was there
time.
last time, that's true. But if Pichu comes, you could steal Lightning Rod. You can steal...
But Pichu was there for a specific reason. It was Lugia.
Yeah, it was. It was. You can steal Technician from Scizor, that doesn't do anything. You can steal Inner Focus from Raikou, that's also doesn't really do anything. You can steal Shadow Tag from Wobbuffet, that is pretty huge if you do that. You can steal Levitate from Misdreavus, which is like meh. You can steal Sheer Force from Nidoking, that's actually really big. If you steal Sheer Force from Nidoking, that's very powerful.
Stealing Shadow Tag from Wobbuffet is maybe the best because that's how you get out of the Perish Trap.
Oh, he got two big blue things that look like that. They look the same.
Yeah, Quagsire and Wobbuffet.
Hmm.
You gotta make sure you
They do
can
not
tell them
look the
apart.
same.
There's a lot of purple in general.
There is. Purple's good. I'll talk a little bit about the matchup. Yeah, I mean, I think I think the rain is. I mean, I could say, Brian's team's really strong in the rain with Raikou and Scizor, like because it's really hard to find a Pokemon that's good against both Raikou and Scizor. Like they just don't share a lot of the same weaknesses. Especially Scizzor's only weak to fire, so it's like Raikou and Politoed together are gonna take care of most fire types pretty handily. Even Nidoking, also good against those fire types. So when you're looking at like the core four of like Politoed, Raikou, Scizor, Nidoking, that's usually what's happening. I mean, Misdreavus maybe. I think Quillfish could come in some matchup. We'll see. I don't know. But it's definitely these core four: Politoed, Raikou, Scizor, Nidoking. They just cover each other really well. It's really hard to find a Pokemon that's good against all of them because like the grass types that are good against Politoed will die to Scizor and Nidoking. And the grass types are also good against Raikou, but Scizor and Nidoking cover them. And then the fire types that are good against Scizor, and to a lesser extent like Ice and... I mean, Nidoking has a lot more weaknesses, like because it's weak to water, it's weak to ice, and like... But Raikou can kill water types, so like, yeah, I don't know. If Nidoking kills the fire types, they kill Scizor, and yeah, Politoed and even Raikou can deal with fire types as well. So it's like, it's just hard to find like one answer. And if we look at, the scrambled egg team, I mean, like Entei is so good against Scizor, but because of all those reasons, it's not so good against Politoed. It's not so good against Raikou or Nidoking. Ursaring is actually, I think, pretty strong just because by virtue of being like neutral, it's like, because normal types are pretty neutral across the board, like it makes it, like we talked about that dynamic, like where like these Pokemon cover each other on the Ziggurat and the Rain team. By just being neutral, it means like the coverage isn't as strong. Like you're not super particularly strong against anything, but you're also not weak to anything. So that kind of, you end up being just in like all situations.
Yeah, I mean, I see Brian doing close combat on Scizor again for Ursaring, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. And so there's that. I think the weather game you can actually play pretty effectively with Crobat. Because, like, obviously Politoed is just a great weather setter, but you can use... Because Crobat's so fast and can run Sunny Day, you can definitely turn that weather off before like, you get much use out of it. So it forces Brian to play a little differently around, like, pivoting Politoed in and out, which can be a challenge. And if Brian starts pivoting, then that gives an opportunity for a Pokemon like Steelix to set up. Steelix is quite good into a lot of this stuff. I mean, you have to really worry about Nidoking and Politoed, but it's good into Scizor and it's pretty good into Raikou, so I could see Steelix being good. But it's going to be a positioning battle. Trick Room helps pretty well for the Egg team. Like, Raikou's fast. Scizor has priority, so it doesn't really care, but Nidoking is... it's faster than the egg Pokemon. It's not fast, but it's faster than the egg Pokemon. So, yeah, Trick Room could be helpful. I don't really see Sudowoodo value here. I think Executor... Actually, I talked about Trick Room, but Executor also just has, like, kind of decent matchups. Like, it's bad into Scizor for sure.
Yeah.
Scizor will kill Exeggutor very easily, but it's good into Raikou, it's good into Nidoking, and it's good into Politoed. So it actually manages to be one of the few that's good versus 3 out of the 4, the core 4 that
I think if you terrestrialize Exeggutor, then it becomes like really, really good. And
really
you're
good. Yeah.
basically always going to be terrestrializing Exeggutor, but especially here.
Yeah, you just have to be careful what Terra you
Yeah.
pick because some of the typical
Brian does have a lot
ones.
of offensive coverage.
Yeah, like if you
But
pick
I think
Fairy, then
Steel might be your
Scizor beats
best.
you. If you pick Steel, then Nidoking beats you. If you pick
Yeah.
Water, then Raikou beats you. So you have to be careful. Like find a Terra that works.
But-
Maybe like Dragon or something.
Yeah, timing is important too. Steel is generally the best, but you have to like pop it in front of Nidoking, like, and when he's going for like a poison type attack, But other than that, it is dangerous to do it like in any other scenario. Dragon is probably the best, like, or maybe even electric.
Yeah, I can see Electric. Electric's quite solid actually. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah. Carter, do you want to share anything else?
Yeah, I think there's like kind of 2 different modes Greenlee can go for here. She could like do the same kind of set from the match with James with like the Exeggutor, Trick Room, Crobat U-turn kind of setup.
Mhm.
You don't even have to do like acrobatics necessarily. Turn 1, you can do like Sunny Day to get rid of rain or whatever you want. And then you can U-turn into like Steelix. You could also do the Crobat Entei lead, and I think switching up between matches or between games, that is, could really throw Brian off. On Brian's end, I think you need to really like keep Politoed in the back so that you can win that weather battle. You got to kind of be prepared for Crobat Entei, I think, more than anything. And I think like leading with Scizor is probably the best way to go in this matchup for most cases. Like Scizor is your best offensive coverage against like everything Greenlee has going on here, and you're kind of expecting either like Exeggutor or Crobat / Entei in the leading spot. Like it's always going to be one of those 3, and I think Scizor is good into all 3 of them in some way, except Entei, obviously.
You gotta watch out for Entei.
You gotta watch it. You always gotta watch out for Entei. But forcing Greenlee to Terra on Exeggutor is going to be valuable, and then just having that pivot into Politoed, I think, is going to be very valuable. You need Politoed. Keep Greenlee out of the keep her in the rain. That is, you got to be singing in the rain if you want to.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to be singing because you can't reliably shadow tag with skill swap on the table. It's a little bit.
Yeah,
dicey
maybe
if
not
you
singing,
want-
but definitely in the rain.
Yeah. All right, next matchup. This one is mine versus Chris. The Ho Horn Dogs versus the Sinnoh Kingdras. The 2-0 Ho Horn Dogs versus the 0-2 Sinnoh Kingdras. I think I've been doing a lot of thinking and some practice and stuff versus team. I think it's a pretty rough matchup for me. Lugia versus Ho-Oh, so it's the legendaries versus each other. That's pretty cool. Lugia, Ho-Oh Lugia is really interesting because I think I've played it a bit. Ho-Oh does have, I think, a slight edge, mostly because Lugia's defense is low, lower than special defense, and Ho-Oh can actually hit for physical attacks, whereas Ho-Oh has the same special defense as Lugia, and Lugia has to use special attacks. So you end up just on average, like Ho is doing a little bit more. Now that does change depending on if Ho goes special, which is something I have been doing, then it flips that matchup around. So that can be a little bit dicey. And it's tempting to go special Ho with Pokemon like Fortress that, are so physically bulky.
Plus, you need a special in order for like offensive, like super effective damage into Lugia because you don't have any like physical electric type attack.
I have to go special if I want to use like Thunderbolt and stuff. So
They're like facing each other.
they are facing each other. Yeah. Smeargle obviously could do anything. I don't think I need to talk about it. But like Blossom, Blossom like has such a bad matchup here. Like it doesn't do much of anything to anything, unfortunately. So that one's a little bit out. And then I have these ground and rock types, which are so weak to Kingdra. It's like Kingdra's a big menace. Like Donphan will get killed, Piloswine will get killed, Golem will get killed by Kingdra. So I need to either Terra or like move around those Pokemon. On the other hand, I think Slowking and even Octillery could make a showing this time around. Miltank is actually really interesting because, I mean, outside of Trick Room with Slowking, Miltank is my only speed control, so that could come out. Although, you know, Smeargle can provide the speed control if needed, so I'm not super sold on if I want to be using Miltank, but it is like bulky, which is nice, and like there's a lot of bulky Pokemon on this other side, so like matching the bulk could be potentially more useful. Like if Smeargle can't get those quick, meaningful KOs by using like a Decorate or use Spore to like control things, which I mean it can use Spore pretty well, but you have to watch out because A2 has a Magic Bounce and Ally Switch, so it's like Spore can be a little bit dangerous when that happens. You put yourself to sleep on Smeargle, then if it's a bit of it feels bad. I did have that happen in some of my practice, so
That's funny.
yeah, but yeah, no, I think Slowking's actually quite good. I think it's pretty hard for the Sinnoh Kingdras to take care of Slowking. It matches well into Kingdra specifically. Octillery similarly is like pretty good into those. I mean, the good news about Ho is even though it's like weak to Kingdra, it has very, very high special defense, so it's got that going for it. But
you
for
can go physical Kingdra though.
You can. That's true. Yeah, I hadn't really considered that too much, but yeah, it could help deal with the Ho a lot.
I only say it because that's what he did last week.
Yeah, he
Or
did.
this week.
I mean, it's equally good at physical as well as special, so it's definitely an option. And then I think Fortress is really good. Like, naturally, I kind of want to go for this Trick Room mode. Like, that's what I was inclined towards. Fortress is a big deterrent to that. It both hits Slowking super hard and runs really, really well into the Trick Room. It's slower than most of my Pokemon in that Trick Room, so it's a huge like Trick Room deterrent. And the only easy way to get rid of it was with Ho-Oh, and like honestly, Ho-Oh is. I mean, I can run Flamethrower on Slowking. I can run Flamethrower on Octillery. So there are some other things, but if the rain comes up from Lugia and sets up the Kingdra, then those fire moves don't feel amazing. So it's just like it's gonna be a bit of a Trick Room game. It's gonna be a bit of a rain game. You know, see what happens there, and you know, just some positioning things. What will Smeargle bring to the table? There's a lot of options, yeah, I think we could have an Octillery, or we had an Octillery debut, but we could have a Miltank debut this week. That might be interesting. And you know, Golem is not. I wrote it off early because it's bad versus Kingdra, but it is very good versus Lugia, A2, Jumpluff, like Kangaskhan.
Yeah, I don't think you should write off Golem.
Yeah, I'm not totally writing it off, but
I think Trick Room is your best mode for sure. I mean, except for the Fortress, obviously, but like Fortress is the only anti-Trick Room on Chris's team, and it's not like it's especially threatening unless it gets some Iron Defense up. So if you get through the Fortress with Ho-Oh, you'd be fine. I mean, I say that, but at the same time, I do think Fortress is, once again, the best option Chris has available. I think if Chris like leads Fortress to deter you from Trick Room long enough for him to get set up in the rain, that would be pretty nice for him.
Yeah, it could be a very setup like based game, like and slow because we have bulky Pokemon. Like my team's pretty bulky, Chris's team's pretty bulky, so it's just gonna be
the Iron Defenses and the Calm Minds and the Nasty Plots.
Yes, and the Decorates.
The Decorates. Oh boy, not the Decorates.
And the Screens is A2 as well. So.
And definitely, I'd go physical Kingdra again if I were Chris, but don't be using Outrage. I don't believe in Outrage.
Yeah, hitting a random, like not being able to target is pretty detrimental. Greenlee?
Why don't you do your own weather?
Me do my own weather?
You can though, you could do anything.
I can do weather, yeah. Sunny day could be interesting.
Like, not really to benefit you, but just to stop the rain. Does Trick Room stop the rain, or is it raining in Trick Room?
It can rain in Trick Room.
Yeah, those are two different things. Trick Room isn't weather.
Well, yeah, I figured, but I didn't know if I had the graphics for that one.
The crap.
It's raining in there.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of a problem do you think the rain is going to be?
With Kingdra, it makes Kingdra faster than everything on my team. That's the big problem, really. Because, like, otherwise I can use Tailwind. I can use Tailwind to get fast. I can use Icy Wind from Miltank to get the speed advantage. But I can't outspeed Kingdra.
Then you're using all of these moves on these Pokemon when all you could do is use Sunny Day on Smeargle.
Yeah, Sunny Day Smeargle, Sunny Day Ho, Tailwind Smeargle, Tailwind Ho. Definitely are on the table.
I still think Trick Room is the best. I don't really know much about Miltank. We haven't seen it in action yet. But I don't know. I don't know if Icy Wind does it for you when Jumpluff is on the table.
No, I mean Jumpluff will definitely. If Jumpluff uses Tailwind, then yeah, obviously.
And we haven't really seen Jumpluff come into play yet.
I just don't know. Jumpluff is that good, like versus Ho, and it's a little dicey.
We've also switched to pink.
Yeah, we're pink instead of purple.
Pink now.
All right, let's get into the last one here. So this is Sunny Shore Wakes versus the Black Death. The 1-1 Sunny Shore Wakes versus the 0-2 Black Death. Carter, want to talk about it?
Sure. Yeah. I think this matchup is a bit more favorable for me than my last two matchups, and that has been the trend thus far. My first one was abysmal. Second one was slightly better, and this one's better than that. I think it's gonna be a little bit hard for Robin to deal with my Murkrow Typhlosion. I'm probably not gonna lead Murkrow Typhlosion, but I could always switch it up. I have some really good offensive answers. The only things I'm mostly worried about are the fairy type attackers like Azumarill and Granbull are the biggest answers to some of my team. Like Azumarill with Aqua Jet can really shut down my Typhlosion in the right circumstances. And obviously Granbull and Azumarill both threaten my Sneasel and Murkrow for big damage with their Play Rough. Unfortunately, though, for Robin, Play Rough is an inaccurate move at only 90%, and so in some of my practice, Play Rough has just missed sometimes in some crucial moments.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm not relying on that. My biggest answer for those Pokemon is Vileplume, who honestly answers Robin's team pretty well holistically, even against Magcargo, who you'd think would be the Vileplume answer. Magcargo's special defense is pretty low, especially compared to its physical defense. Of course, Heracross just obliterates it with close combat regardless, but if she does manage to get Trick Room up, Vileplume is also my best Trick Room answer. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. I don't really see what Stantler brings to this, and I don't know about Mantine either, but maybe it's
You really don't like Mantine.
I love Mantine. I really love Mantine, but I don't think it provides much in this matchup.
Yeah, I think you're right about Vileplume. Maybe Delibird is the Vileplume answer. Like maybe you have to look to something else, like your Noctowl Delibird. I mean, definitely type matchup wise, Delibird is good, but Delibird's so bad that I don't know. It's like you have to use it.
I considered Delibird actually. I haven't really run this yet in my practice, but I considered if I'm Robin doing Delibird Porygon to fake out the Murkrow so that she can get Trick Room up.
Yeah, and then that could be something. I mean, getting Trick Room up is hard against Murkrow. I also one thing I'm not actually sure about is I was looking. Azumarill is probably one of the better leads if you're worried about Typhlosion, and I think you have to be. I think if you don't, if you have a lead that completely disrespects the Typhlosion eruption, then and you get caught, then it's you could just lose on the spot. But I think Azumarill like is one of the good leads there. Magcargo is one of the good ones. But like actually Azumarill with Aqua Jet into Typhlosion can reduce that eruption damage pretty significantly. But I was
Even
wondering
with
like
Sun.
how does that interact with Quash? Like can you quash the Aqua Jet?
Well, I think they're both +1 priority,
So
right?
it's just who's
So
faster.
it's just who's faster.
Well, Murkrow should be
Murkrow
faster.
is probably faster, unless Trick Room is up, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, so you could maybe quash that and still. Just something I was thinking about. I think for Robin, yeah, the fairy types are good. I mean, they're really good across the board. You do have a problem with Vileplume, like we kind of mentioned. Ampharos, I don't know, like if that does anything. I think Venusaur, Ampharos, like these Pokemon have a little bit of a problem. I think Robin is like we've already seen 2 games where it's like every time Porygon's just getting taunted.
Yeah.
And I think that's just gonna continue to happen. So it's really unfortunate.
It's tough because how do you justify putting
Yeah.
Mental Herb on Porygon 2 and giving up the biggest benefit of Porygon 2, which is its bulk
Yeah.
with Eviolite?
Yeah, and I think it's one thing where it's like it's a big difference from regular VGC where like not everyone runs taunt because it's a
Yeah, it's a niche.
it's a niche thing
Tool.
in VGC, but when you're playing against Porygon and you get to prep for it,
You know you're playing against
you're playing against Porygon ahead of time. You can fit taunt onto a lot of Pokemon. It's not.
It's a widely distributed move.
And
you're always going to get it off before Porygon 2 can set Trick Room.
So by the end of the season, I think Porygon's gonna be so tired of getting taunted.
The only thing, the only
time.
play is Robin has to put taunt on the Pokemon next to Porygon 2 and do protect taunt against the taunt user. That's kind of all
protect
you can
taunt
do.
or fake out with Delaware
fake
or
out.
something.
But then you have to use Delaware.
Or protect, and if you can one shot whoever's using taunt in theory, but that's hard. That's hard to do consistently.
And I've also considered what if Robin goes Terra Dark on Porygon 2 just so that Murkrow can't taunt it.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll know the Terras, so I can always I'm gonna bring Sneasel at the same time, and not to reveal all my brings, but I could bring Sneasel at the same time, and then or anyone else really. It doesn't even have to be Sneasel.
And Terra Dark leaves you weak to fighting no matter what, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know that she'd want to do that just for
You
that.
could sacrifice the Eviolite for Mental Herb. I mean, you always could.
You always could do that, yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't feel great, but who knows? We'll see. Greenlee, you have any thoughts to conclude?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not anything extra. I feel like with this one I did get put to sleep a lot.
Yeah, the yawn.
Consider it. Because that was really annoying. You can't do anything when you're asleep.
Thing is, she's going yawn on Magcargo usually. And Magcargo is her best offensive answer to a lot of my Pokemon, so it kind of feels bad to use yawn when you could be using Power Gem or Heat Wave. But
how are
maybe.
you going to kill Magcargo?
How am I going to kill Magcargo?
Yeah.
Close combat
Close
from
combat from
Heracross.
Heracross just completely destroys Magcargo.
Mantine, Vileplume.
Because I was not good at doing that
You
either.
do that. Celebi even has Earth Power, so I can use that to kill Magcargo.
True. Celebi could be good here. It's good against a lot of things, actually, as I'm looking at it.
Celebi's always pretty good.
Yeah. But, you don't have the bug type to worry about outside of Ariados. There's no way Ariados is coming, so...
I'm not ready for Ariados.
I mean, it's pretty nice. You don't really have dark types. You don't really have bug types. You don't really have...
I have to
No
forfeit
flying.
if I see Ariados.
I mean, you do have flying, I guess. You have Noctowl and Delibird. But, the flying types are weak. And then Magcargo even is kind of weak. You Earth Power, like we talked about. So you don't have to worry about that. Celebi could be nice, actually.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is going to be it for the matchup think-aheads. Thank you for joining us and thinking along with us.